Mr. Speaker, I rise today to recognize Mr. Milton Woody Woodside for serving more than 30 years as president of the Brunswick Golden Isles Chamber of Commerce. After graduating from the Citadel, Mr. Woodside has dedicated his entire career to public service, and without his work, coastal Georgia would likely look very different than it does today. To start, he worked 13 years for the 1st Congressional District of Georgia with Representatives Bo Ginn and Lindsey Thomas. Since his work with the House of Representatives, he has held the top positions with the Chamber of Commerce and is one of the longest continuous serving chamber leaders in Georgia. In his position with the Chamber, Mr. Woodside advocated for the creation of the South Georgia Parkway, funding to deepen the Port of Brunswick, a replacement for the Sidney Lanier Bridge, the building of both the Golden Isles Convention Center along with the Career Academy, and much more. Whether it was at the Capitol in Washington, D.C., the State House in Georgia, or the Mayor's office in Brunswick, Mr. Woodside was constantly working to help Brunswick grow. Although he is retiring on May 15th, I'm sure that Mr. Woodside will continue to help the Brunswick community in any way he can. Woody, thank you for your service. You have been an inspiration to all of us. You are an icon in our community. Our community thanks you. Our state thanks you. And our country thanks you. And I thank you, my friend. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to remember the life of Mr. Roy Kent Hodgnick, who passed away at the age of 98 on Friday, April 26. Known throughout Glenn County in the 1st Congressional District as a gentleman with a caring personality, he brightened the day of everyone around him. He served in France during World War II, directly after D-Day, earning the Purple Heart, Bronze Star, and Victory Medal. When he came home to the United States, he stopped in St. Simon's Island while vacationing, fell in love with the area, bought a home that same weekend, and started raising a family. While there, he built one of the most successful companies in the area, Hodgnick Cooper Real Estate and Vacation Rentals. But through all of this, Mr. Hodgnick's passion was with his family and his community. For him, the key to a successful business was having a wife of 75 years who stood beside him and believed in him. He also mentored and advised countless young people, helping them to find their own paths through life. I'm proud to have had Mr. Hodgnick spend so much of his life in the 1st Congressional District of Georgia. His family and friends will be in my thoughts and prayers during this time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Illinois.